Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Wow, Orioles swept right out of Detroit. Friday's game ended up being rained out and made up Saturday as part of a doubleheader. Wow. So usually in a 3-game series, a team can win at least one game. I mean, you look at some of the records in Major League Baseball, the wins don't get that high. More often than not, a good team is going to win two and lose one in the series, meaning the bad team can win at least one game. Well, with a doubleheader, so now the 3 games being played in 2 days, the odds that a bad team can win at least one game out of the 3-game series is increased. And yet, the Orioles are playing so bad right now, they can't even do that. Good job. See them on MASSonsports.com. Let's get to the games. Game 1 of the doubleheader. Baltimore Orioles 3, Detroit Tigers 4. It's probably by far the closest game that there was. Yes, the Orioles did give up runs first, but they were able to try the offense anyway, try to claw back into this game. Well, Orioles apparently don't have claws and Tigers have claws. Who was better clawing in this game? Because, of course, you see here, Orioles score 1 in the 4th. Bam! Next inning, Tigers get one. You got to keep them down, pitching staff. You got to do it. Man, look at the Orioles score 1 run in the 7th. Bam! Tigers get one more in their part of the 7th. You got to... Orioles able to get another one in the 8th. But too little, too late. Cedric Mullins, leadoff spot. Majority of the time here. Of course, when it rains, it pours. More bad news other than just performance for the Orioles. Yay! Might be the worst opening to a season I've ever seen for the Baltimore Orioles. Because at least when they're bad and they were played like several years ago, you expected them to be bad and you expected them to get 5 wins in a 25-game span. We don't expect that now. You got to get a few more than 5 wins. How many? Okay, they do have more than 5 wins. You're not doing that good. You're really not. Ofer, but he did walk once. Henderson, a hit in the 2-hole. Keep flip-flopping all these guys around. It's probably... it's got to be part of it. Especially the top of the lineup. There's very little consistency there, except for maybe Gunnar Henderson, though that's between the 1, 2, and 3 spot. Guys can't get into a rhythm here. Westberg's still dealing with some kind of banged up issue, quoting Brandon Hyde, but 3 hits and an RBI. O'Hearn, 3 hits and an RBI. Mountcastle pinch hitting late. Ofer. Doesn't make any sense. O'Hearn in 3 at-bats got 3 hits. Why you pinch hit for him? Why? He's hot. Ride the hot hand. Whatever. Mountcastle on his Ofer in his only at-bat. Kerstad. Ofer. Look here. What was it? The 7th inning. Let's go to the play-by-play. Westberg gets a hit, and whoever's behind him, was it O'Hearn? Behind him gets a hit. Oh, well, there's that one. Great example of why you don't pinch hit there. I'm sorry, it's 6th inning here. Westberg single, O'Hearn single, so now there's no outs. And actually, Westberg was able to get to 3rd. on O'Hearn's signal. Here comes Heston Kjerstad. He's in the lineup because he's a big left-handed power hitter. Oh, well, he'll be able to, hit the ball out of the infield and we'll get at least one run out of this, right? No. Couldn't even get it past the infield grass. Though, okay, the infield was drawn in, so the first baseman was playing on the infield grass. Couldn't get it by. Well, of course, Westberg going on contact, throwing out at the plate. Cool, wonderful. Like, if you don't go, maybe, you're on third. At least you have a runner on third, and even if he's like, oh, he's not going, and he throws his first baseman throws a second, and then back to first because, Kjerstad's slow, because he's not that good, and they get a double play, but at least you got a man on third. Now, you got first and second with one out. Arias pop up, Holiday strikeout. Cool, wonderful, good job. Terrible. Here's Mountcastle pinch hitting. Sanchez ground out, Lariano fly out. Cool. Cedric Mullins walk, Gunnar Henderson single. What happened? It must have been the last series. Henderson single, so now we're first and third. Of course, it's 2 outs. Westberg single. Henderson to second. Mullins score. So it's first and second. Oh, let's pinch hit Ryan Mountcastle here. Fly out. Though to be fair, Riley Green was all over the damn ballpark. That guy. I don't like that guy. Too many good plays in the outfield. Apparently, they put a somewhat large power hitting guy into their outfield. He can actually play the outfield. Kjerstad, all right, cool, wonderful. Carlson ends up pinch hitting late. Little defensive replacement move and all that. Oh yeah, Carlson's here because O'Neill's on the IL. Yay! Carlson 0 in his only appearance. Ramon Arias, 3 hits and an RBI. Couldn't get a hit at another clutch opportunity, but that's fine. Holiday 1 hit. Sanchez 0 in there for Rutschman. It's a doubleheader. Sanchez was obviously going to catch one game. Rutschman pinch hits late for Sanchez. To a certain extent it worked. Rutschman has to go in there and catch, but Rutschman walks. Ramon Lariano, very disappointing. Sometimes he was hitting real nice. 0 in this game. O'Hearn's 3 for 3 with a home run, and you pinch hit for him. It's just so odd. It's so odd. Arias also with a home run. Team RSIP, runners in scoring position. That is a big key for this series. You can see in this game, 1 for 8. That's not that good. 9 total left on base. Westberg caught stealing because, of course, Westberg is going to try to steal a base because he's so fast. Had to be a missed hit and run by Ryno Hearn. I don't know. Otherwise, why is Westberg, who's supposedly banged up? Oh, and spoiler alert, he actually is more legitimately banged up now. Whatever. Brandon Young, his second major league start, fairly decent in this one. Was able to get into the 5th inning. Couldn't complete the 5th inning, but got into the 5th inning. Got a few outs in the 5th inning. So that's that's an improvement. I got to say, that has to be an improvement. The walks, that hurt. To a certain extent, a majority of those walks were within the first inning and a half. or maybe it was the first 2 innings, and then he talked to Drew French or whatever, and then you just start pounding in the strike zone. Huh. Instead of quit fiddle fuck farting around with the strike zone, you go attack the strike zone. And what do you know? Good things work for you. Because, throwing balls out of the hand, that works all the time, doesn't it? Yeah, good job. Maybe has to do with the game calling philosophy of catchers. Maybe something the Orioles should practice more. Brendan Young, 4 2/3 of an innings pitched, gives up 4 hits, 3 runs, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts. It was the walks that killed him. Brian Baker in relief to close out the 5th inning. Why? I don't know. I feel like, and I went back and looked at this, Yanier Cano threw 1 pitch in the National Series. You know how many pitches he threw in his Tiger Series? Well, if you watched it, you know he didn't pitch at all. So, since Monday, because the series between the Orioles and Nationals was Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then scheduled Friday, Saturday, Sunday here with the Tigers. So, going back to Monday, a full week. Now, today's Monday. 1 pitch. 1 pitch for Yanier Cano. Genius. Wonderful bullpen management. I'd have picked Cano here to come in here. Look, he's got to pitch. And if he's touted as one of your higher leverage reliever dudes, this is a moment to put him in there. Runners on. Young kid was struggling to get through 5, and you want to get out of this situation. You could have gotten out of the situation. I mean, who knows? Baker ends up he does get the final out of the 5th inning, but he gives up 2 hits and a walk. And then he ends up striking a guy out. Now, would Cano do that? If Cano is a better reliever than Brian Baker, I have to believe that no, Cano would not do that. Likelihood, you don't give up any runs in that situation. You got to use Cano. You can't just keep waiting for your offense to get close, or have the lead. It's not happening. You got to find a way to have some of these high leverage relievers pitch. Because otherwise, they're not pitching. Batista threw one inning against the Nationals. Cano threw 1 pitch. Neither of them pitched in this Tiger series. And you know what? He said the same for Soto, because Soto didn't pitch in this series either. You gave up 1 run in the 7th inning or later in this game. Looking at the other game, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I did want to make a note of this. 3 runs in the 7th inning or later in game 2. 2 runs in the 7th inning. They were all in the 7th inning. But 7th inning or later, that's when you really should be using your high leverage relievers. Yes, you can absolutely use them earlier than that if it's a high leverage situation. But you're giving up all these runs at the back end of the game and you're not even using your 2 to 3 best relief pitchers? A genius idea. I mean, it's very similar to the thought process of, and maybe one of the only blunders of, at least off the top of my head, Buck Showalter's management is that 2016 wild card game. You left Ubaldo Jimenez in there to pitch to with Edwin Encarnacion, who ends up hitting the game-winning 3-run home run. But you had Zach Britton, your badass stud of a closer, in the bullpen, ready to go. It's one thing to lose the game when you're using your best pieces, but it's another thing to lose the game when you're not even using your best pieces. What the hell's going on? And it's not even like one game. With Showalter, it was like that one time. This whole series, you gave up 6 runs in the 7th inning or later, and you didn't even use Soto, Cano, or Batista. You got to give your offense a chance to make an impact on the game. If your pitchers are giving up a whole bunch of runs late in the game, well, the offense has to get a whole lot more in their part of the late game. Okay. However, see ya, Baker 1 out, gives up 2 hits and no runs. The run that scored while Baker was out there is charged to Young. So yeah, it counts something else in the statistical categories, nerd numbers, inherited runners scored, which isn't good. I mean, it's just as bad for a relief pitcher. Walked 1 and struck out 1. CNL Perez pitched the 7th inning and then ended up starting the 6th inning. CNL pitches the full 6th inning and 1 out in the 7th. They've given 1 hit, 1 run, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Yeah, you don't really like that 1 run. It was a solo home run to the cleanup hitter, which lefty-righty matchup, which was odd. Damn, really, Brandon Hyde? Figured you want a righty in there, right? Okay, I mean, whatever. Do whatever you want. But it's not a bad outing for Perez. 1, being as what he has been. And 2, a solo home run to the cleanup hitter is minimizing the damage. It really is. I mean, he didn't walk anybody in front of him. In fact, he struck out 3. Pretty good outing for Perez. It's just, maybe it should have been somebody else to face Torkelson there. Oh well. Bowman in to finish the 7th inning and then pitch the full 8th inning. And yes, we're on the road, so losing, we don't have to cover full 9 innings. Yay! So pitching 1 2/3 of an inning, gives up 1 hit, but no runs, no walks, strikes out 1. Here's game 2 of the doubleheader. Baltimore Orioles 2, Detroit Tigers 6. 3 runs in the 3rd and 3 runs in the 7th for the Tigers. I mean, Mullins consistently lead off, so we'll see how that is. And we'll see if he's over whatever sickness Brandon Hyde ended up saying he had Sunday. I was like, whoa, he played, the doubleheader sick. So he got Sunday off. Hopefully he's better. Got a hit and walked once. Henderson and RBI with 2 hits. Rutschman in there, a hit and a walk. Rutschman actually ended up getting hit on the hand in this game. Yay, on his throwing hand. Yay. Yeah. So now Rutschman's injured. Again. Because he exposed his throwing hand. Again. You'd think he'd learn by now. O'Hearn, Ofer, walked once. Westberg, 1 hit. Kerstad, Ofer. Laureano pinch hitting late, then goes plays left field. RBI in his only plate appearance. Actually, no, he had 2 plate appearances, 1 at bat. 1 at bat he strikes out, the other one he gets a run in. Mountcastle, Ofer. Holiday, 1 hit and walked once. Ramon Urias DHing. Ofer walked once. Henderson with a double. Only extra base hit on the day. For that game, actually. Not on the day, because they played 2 games. Yeah. Keegan Aiken gets to start in this game. What? Yeah, well, that's how bad Charlie Morton's been. Rather have Keegan Aiken start the game. And you know what? He did better than Charlie Morton. Huh. What does that tell you? Keegan Aiken in an inning and 2/3, gives up no hits, no runs, walks 1, strikes out 1. Charlie Morton, yeah, trying to break things up. You know, don't have Morton start out the game, because what exactly that's going to do for you, I don't know. Maybe your top 4 or 5 guys of the opposing lineup won't end up facing him 3 times, but then you could get into the 6th inning, maybe, perhaps. Somewhat of a sound theory, and then here comes Charlie Morton. Did he strike the guy out? Pretty sure he struck the guy out there in the 2nd inning. Yeah. Comes in. Yep. Strikes Mr. Nido, who is the 7th place hitter. Strikes him out. And the 2nd inning. Then the wheels fell off. Gives up 3 more runs on 3 hits and 5 walks. Yeah. He didn't pitch 4 innings. That's terrible, man. That's just terrible. Morton ends up getting his 6th loss. Pitching a total of 3 2/3 of an inning. Gives up the 3 hits, the 3 runs, 5 walks, does strike out 3. So it's like the strikeout stuff is there. It's just everything else, mainly the walks, isn't there. And to a certain extent, the reason for the walks is the same reason for giving up all these runs and hits, because you just fall behind, and instead of throwing a pitch where the hitter lays off and it ends up being a ball or something and he walks, it's somewhat closer to the strike zone. You're trying to get something over, and it's just a weak pitch, and it gets hit. There's really the same reason there. It's just, I don't know. Old age, bad grips, wrong grips, doesn't know what he's doing anymore. Something. You gotta change something. Like, it's early. Okay, well, we are officially a month. Depends on what you mean by officially, I guess. A month into the baseball season. How long does the season last? Is it 5 months? 5, 6 months? So we're a 5th of the way done. Oh, okay. Or 6th. A 6th of the way done. Yup. Sir Anthony Dominguez, well, at least he pitches in this series. He probably pitched a little too much, because he does end up giving up 3 runs. Sir Anthony Dominguez, in relief of Charlie Morton, pitches 1 1/3 of an inning. Why he's pitching more than 1 inning, and Cano's pitching nothing. Whatever, dude. Does give up 2 hits and 3 runs. He walked 1. He gave up a 3-run home run? No, it wasn't a 3-run home run. Bases clearing double or some shit. I don't even know. I don't even remember. I don't even care, because they're just so bad. It's hard to watch. Yeah, I mean, if it ain't the umpires that are screwing them, it's their own incompetence. And then it's just bad luck, because you hear ball hit the bat when the Orioles at the plate, and you're like, oh man, that sounded sweet. And then you kind of see it start out, and you're like, oh man, that's going to be a hit. And out of nowhere, a glove just comes and snatches the ball. It's like, what? So, I mean, they're getting robbed. They're getting shit-ass calls from the umpires. And then they're just squandering their own opportunities. Like, say, runners in scoring position. Man. Whew. It's a perfect storm of suckiness. Yeah, I said Dominguez. Grant Wolfram, who moved around, missed Brandon Young. I have an article that, for the attribution. Brandon Young sent back to Norfolk, bringing up Wolfram, making his major league debut, closing out the 7th inning. Does give up a hit, but no runs, walks 1, no strikeouts. He does get out of the inning, which is good. Though one of those runs might have been Dominguez's, and that's not great, but whatever. Colin Selby was listed as the 27th man for the doubleheader. He's in here. Pitches 1 inning. Way to get some work out of your 27th man. Whatever. Pitches the full 8th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Huh. How about that? Let's get to game 3. All kind of shit in this one. Mullins, this is where Brandon Hyde announces Mullins was sick the last two games, the doubleheader. So he's not playing. Rutschman hit on the hand. He not playing. All right. Whatever. Yeah. Cool. Ramon Laureano leading off. Hard to have a consistent lineup when dudes can't stay healthy. But 1 hit for Laureano, 1 hit for Henderson. 0 for Ryan Mountcastle. We did walk once. Arias, cleanup hitter. 1 hit. Sanchez in there, catcher. 0 for Dylan Carlson. Remember, he called up because of Tyler O'Neill on the injured list. Did I tell you that yet? I already forgot. Dylan Carlson, 0 for. Did make a nice catch in the outfield, so he's really here for defense. I don't know why he was batting 6. You got Heston Kjerstad here, who's supposed to be big power hitter guy, and that's why he's on the team. But yet, Kjerstad's hitting 7th, while Dylan Carlson, Gary Sanchez, Ron Arias, they're all hitting ahead of him. Yeah. All right, cool. Kjerstad over. 4 strikeouts. To a certain extent, I guess why maybe the Oriole organization is having trouble cutting Kjerstad loose, maybe not even cutting him loose, but sending him down, is because the entire team is just in a rut. Like I was saying, bad calls by the umpire, bad luck. So, how much of this is Kjerstad? How much of it is just the way things are going for the team? I don't know. Jorge Mateo, 2 hits. What? Take a wild guess at how many bases he stole. Yeah. How many runs did he score? Well, you can see it's a big fat 0 right there. Yeah. Jackson Holiday, over. No extra base hits for the Baltimore Orioles. Jorge Mateo, only 2 stolen bases. It's like a double for Jorge Mateo, right? Can't do nothing with it. 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Dean Kramer gets to start in this game. He goes 5 innings because more than 5 innings. Pinch count got up to 97, but what's the point? You're not doing nothing offensively. 5 2/3 of an inning for Dean Kramer, gives up 4 hits, 5 runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. Ugh. Ew. Cieno Perez gets the last out of the 6 But of course, he gave up 2 hits first. Yeah. Cool. Wonderful. Grant Wolfram in for the 7th inning. Gives up 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk. So he has giving up runs now. Yep, there we go. Officially giving up runs. Walked 1, struck out 1. So at least he has his first major league strikeout. So congratulations. Matt Bowman in for the 8th inning. Man, you only have to cover 8 innings in each of these 3 games. Guess how bad you are. Whatever. Does give up 1 hit, but no runs. Oh my, wow, a pitcher that didn't give a full inning, didn't give up any runs. Wow. No walks. Oh man, a pitcher that pitched a full inning didn't give up a walk. Did strike out 1. Bad. This is a bad team. A few articles here written by Rock Kabatko talking about a few of the things O'Neill sent to the injured list, the 10-day injured list. It's that neck thing still. Everybody is confident that when his 10 days are up on the injured list, he'll be able to come back. Dylan Carlson called up to replace on the roster. I don't remember which article was which now. Because there's some things about, not Charlie Morton, but there's a thing about Selby here being a 27th man. Zach Eflin throwing a bullpen session over the weekend. Kyle Gibson as well throwing a bullpen session. No discomfort or pain or anything to report there. And it would appear, with the way that starters are announced, tentative plan, Sagano should be pitching this first game against the Yankees. Povich pitching the 3rd game against the Yankees. Nobody is announced for game 2. Kyle Gibson should be ready to go. He's not doing any more rehab starts. He hasn't done a rehab start for several days, going closer to a week. It's time for him to get a start. Well, tomorrow, it's looking like that. So, yeah, both articles written by Rock Kabatko. This one the 26th, and this one also the 26th. All right, let's wrap this up. Let's get the hell out of here. Today, Monday, starts a 3-game series with the Yankees at Camden Yards. All 3 games scheduled for 6:35. Wow. Okay. Cool. And Thursday scheduled off day. So that is going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report. Please stay tuned for Thursday, and I will discuss the series between the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Yankees. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.